following. So, Parshat Nezavim Vayailech-We. It's a short parsha, only a few percent in the whole parsha. At the end of Rishon, when we laid it on the weekdays, or at the end of Shlishi, when it's a double parsha, like this week, we have the following psukim. It says, Marku et markot shahiv et achleha kafis melas shvakal. So you see a lot of destruction, and people are going to ask, like, what happened to the Jewish people? Because they left the azvu es bris. We left the bris that Hashem made with us, and they were served other gods. And God's going to be angry, and He's going to curse us out and bring all the klalot upon us. And He's going to kick us out. And we all know our history. These psukim, you don't need to imagine them. We've seen them. We've lived through them, the ups and the downs. And here's the pasuk. With an unbelievable klal, and one that's this past year taken to a new level. Hanistaros l'Adonai Eloheinu, v'haniglos lanu ulevanenu adolam lasos. It's called the Torah. I'll translate it. Hanistaros, hidden matters are to God. Haniglos, revealed matters are to us and our children forever. To keep the Torah. Hidden matters are to God. Revealed matters are to us. So the Mefarshim all have a lot to say about this, but we'll read Rashi. Im Tomru, if you say, Ma b'yadin lasos, atam anish et harabim. Wait, you just finished telling us that we could be wiped out, knocked out of the land of exile, because if we do improper things and we're responsible to make sure that we all act properly. But what if someone does something, you don't know what's going on in his house, in his mind? He could be doing terrible things in Averos. I'm responsible for that. I don't even know what's going on behind closed doors. Rabbi Twersky, my father-in-law's most famous or controversial book was Shame Born in Silence, that he wrote about abuse in the Jewish home. And everyone screamed, you don't write about that stuff. It doesn't happen, and this and that, all different things. And he said, I have an obligation to bring it out. So, but what am I pointing out? The Jews are saying, we're going to be responsible for each other, and if one sins, and we're all responsible for not stopping, but we don't even know. That was what he wrote about, Born in Silence. You could have outstanding members of the community and building the this yeshiva and that yeshiva, and the names all over the place. And at home, he's a terror. So he felt an obligation to call out. So we don't know who's the big tzaddik. You don't know. The one who has a fanciest esrog? No. Maybe yes, maybe not. You don't know. So God says, you're right. I have no claims against you when there's evil in the home next door to you, and there's no way for you to know that. I have no claim. You're not a prophet. Hanistaros LaHashem Elokeinu. Nistar. What's nistar? Hidden. Things that are hidden you could know about. That's God. God will deal with that directly. Hanigalot. Nigalot means what? Revealed. Lanu ulvanenu. That you're responsible. That's how Rashi takes the pasuk. So I'll read it to you now. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, totally we're responsible for whatever goes on anywhere. Any other Jew that needs help in crisis, you need to be there. How are we going to be punished for things that someone else doesn't know about? He says, no, I don't punish you for hidden matters. Hanistarot, Ramban, others take it differently, but we're going to just focus on Rashi today. Hanistarot, Hashem Elokeinu. Hidden matters are for God to deal with. God will take it those individuals that only He can take care of. You must get rid of this evil. You have to work somehow to stop horrible things that you know about. It's not my problem. Yes, it is your problem. It is absolutely your problem. Another Jew's problem is your problem. Even the world's problems are our problems, but we have to have priorities. Of Kahana in the JDL book, about the JDL writes that, we had all the wealthy Jews in America in the 40s, 50s, 60s involved in every problem except for the Jewish ones. They take care of the poor and the China and the Vietnam. And what about all the poor in Dorchester where everyone ran away? You had a few elderly people left. What about them? Just where are your priorities? So he spoke a lot. It was just true. We're into Tikkun Olam, but we have to help each other first. Alan Dershowitz, he had an interview last week. Fascinating. He must be about 87. And he said, he's quoting from Pirkei Avos. I was very, very impressed. He said, if I'm not for myself forever, and if I'm only for myself, that's awesome. He said, for my first 70 years of my life, not 70 active years, he's 87 now, I was focused on the second half. What can I do to help the world? Whatever years God has given me now that's left, I'm helping Klal Yisrael. And I'm speaking on behalf of Am Yisrael, of Eretz Yisrael, the Jews in Israel. They need my support. And there's not time to focus on the rest of the world. I have to focus on the Jewish people, Am Yisrael, and Eretz Yisrael. It was very, very, very touching. To me, it was very touching. And he's right. So we are absolutely responsible for each other. So Rashi says, yes, if you didn't know about it, you're off. As we really didn't know. You're screaming next door. You can't just assume it's the radio that's on loud. You can't, be silly. You have to be responsible. And if you really, really didn't know, okay, then you're all right. So then he says, Ve'im lo naseh din b'hem, and you don't take care of evil in the society. Whether it's horrible stuff in the home, crooked business people, taking advantage of others in Bell Harbor. So I grew up in Bell Harbor, in the Rockaways. Nice, beautiful beachfront community. I was on 125th Street, and you had 116th was what we call the Azor Tatsiyah, where the shops are, and 129th. And the name of the Makola there was the Ghana. But no one even thought twice. You knew that if you don't count your change, you're going to be shortchanged. Tragically, it was a Jew. It was sick. It was crazy. It was crazy. But if there was a base in the community, you have to take care of it. You can't let that happen. You can't let that happen. No. Baruch Hashem, at least he didn't walk around with a kippah because it was a different level of Hashem, but he was a Jewish, but he was sick. Anyways, but a basin would take care of that. They can't let that happen. So you have to wipe out evil in your community. Yes. What? Good. So a basin, once upon a time, basin had shinayim. They had teeth. You could put the person to chayrim, and no one's going to shop there. Close the shop. They had teeth once upon a time, right? Okay. So that's it. So yeah. What? Yeah, it's wrong. Then the question is, so that's where Rav Meir Kahana, that's the interesting halachic aspect on Rav Meir Kahana. He said, this is crazy what's going on. You have 3 million Jews in Russia. No one's doing anything about it. This is crazy. So now you have an amazing Shiloh. He felt his biggest critic is going to agree that his feeling of connection to fellow Jews was just in a different league. How he acted upon is where things get controversial. He maintained that if there are 3 million Jews suffering in Russia, physically, spiritually, emotionally, they want to leave Jewish lives, they want to move to Israel, and they're being stopped, he held we're at war. And you could do anything. You could break the Soviet consulate, you could throw rocks in it, you could do anything. It's an interesting challenge. How far can you go? But hopefully you'll have the leaders, the basin take care of it. Sometimes it doesn't happen that way. And then you're right. What do you do? What are your rights? It's a very good question. Let's say you're in the town and you know about 129th Street in Valhalla, the Ghana. What are you allowed to do in the basin? It's a great question, Edith. So if Kahana would do what, he would take care of it. But now it's a good shaila. Halachically, legally, it's a very, very good shaila. So now Rashi says the following. He says that's part one. That you are responsible for anything you know, and if you don't take care of it, then what? In Lona said, et harabim, you will get punished. You will get punished. That's it. There's no idea of live and let live. No, it's not my problem. It's not our approach. Then he says, If you look in the psukim, if you look in the parsha, right at the end of Shlishi this week, it's a double parsha. At the end of Shlishi in the double parsha, there's dots on the words. There are dots. Haniglot lanu ulvanein. There's about 10 dots on the words, and that means we're supposed to learn something from it. So he says, "Af al haniglo lo anash et harabim." Even the niglo we weren't punished for. Ad she avru et hayardein. Misha kiblu. We went through a ceremony where we accepted all the curses and the responsibilities of the Torah. Not Sinai. That's outside of Israel. In Israel. On which mountains? Har Bracha and Harival, where Har Bracha is today. Har Grizim. And Har Bracha is there today. The Shomronim, the Samaritans, Ramallah, beautiful neighborhood. So that area is where we formally accepted upon ourselves the Torah in the full sense, and we accepted our revut, responsibility one for another. And he says, once that happened, when we entered Israel, from then on forever, we are bound to each other, bound through thick and through thin. And that means the negatives here, you see bad things going on, you need to stop it. It also means in a very nice, positive way. Let's take a week from today, right? Rosh Hashanah is Thursday. Okay, so let's say Barry Gluck, big tzaddik. You have the Glucks who live out here, and their son Barry lives in Modi'in. He joins us for Rosh Hashanah and Ma'or, and he's going to blow for us. So he blows, how many blasts? 100. And then the woman, there's a second blowing for the woman who couldn't be the first minion. He'll blow again. Then let's say he gets home and 2 o'clock, whatever it is, he's ready for a nice meal with the family and about to start to eat. And Barry, you're amazing. Thank you very much. You're great. I really enjoyed your blowing. Thank you so much. And my father, 90-year-old father, I was hoping to wheelchair to shul today. It just didn't work out. He was not feeling great. He only lives 20 minutes away on the other side of Ramat Beit Shemesh. The whole thing there, back, and the blowing, it's not more than an hour. So hopefully no one's going to do that. They're going to find someone local. They have so many shofar blowers every other house. But let's just give a dramatic case. So halachically, he has to help out. And it is so strong, the obligation, that when Barry blows for Mr. So-and-so, if he can make the bracha, Mr. Cohen will call him, then he'll make the bracha and Barry will blow. And let's say Mr. Cohen is not up to even making the bracha. Can Barry make the bracha again? Absolutely. Okay, but listen to this. And what is the concept in Hebrew of Ko Yisrael? We are responsible. We are co-signers, right? We're co-signers. Right? We're an arrave on a contract. Someone takes a loan, a mortgage, and you sign, you're an arrave. So then you're responsible. They could come after you. So you have to be careful when someone signs on a loan and you're a guarantor. And you should just know as a side point, when you sign as a guarantor on a loan, let's say there's 3 guarantors on a loan. Okay. And 5,000 shekels. You paid back by Rosh Chodesh. Rosh Chodesh comes and goes. The guy didn't pay back. The gemach, the loan organizers, could come to you. Let's see, Danny Myers just signed on it. Danny Myers, 5,000 shekel, please. You're an arrave. You signed. You see that? I said, yeah, but let me do a third of the 5,000 and let's get each one of us. Nah, we asked the other 2 and they said they're not interested. But we know that you're going to pay. I had to pay the whole thing. Look at the small words before you sign. 2 things you have to know. A, when you sign, you are responsible for the whole loan, unless it's written differently. Yes, a co-sign is very serious. And B, you should just know when someone is taking a loan, not that there's a possibility that he won't be able to pay back. There's a strong probability. You should just know. Any more loans that we lent to people over the last 22 years, forget it. Everyone. No one's paying back on time. That was just our small experience. Maybe other times is better. I don't know. So you have to just know. So if you're an arrave, it's called a kavod, but just know what you're getting into. So we're an arrave and we are co-signers to each other. And therefore, if this Jew has a mitzvah to blow shofar, then Barry Gluck, who knows how to blow shofar, that's it. He's an Arev. He's Arevus. And then let's take it a step further. Not only is an Arev can he blow for Mr. Cohn, but let's say Mr. Cohn doesn't know how to say the bracha. He's not well. He can't say the bracha. Can Barry say the bracha for him? What's the answer? Absolutely. Now wait, it's his mitzvah. How's Barry saying a bracha? It's one thing tomorrow night when you have people at your house for Kiddush, you're saying Kiddush for yourself, and you say it out loud. Everyone listens in. But how is Barry saying the bracha? He already said the bracha for himself 3 hours earlier. How is he doing it now just from Mr. Cohn? What's the rule? Kol Yisrael, Arevim, halachically. It's not just I have to make sure all the Jews are keeping the mitzvahs. I have to make sure no one's doing averos. I have to keep my town in order. I also am responsible to the point that if he needs a bracha, then what? I make the bracha. And the language of the Ran is unbelievable. As long as Mr. Cohn's man, as long as Mr. Cohn has a mitzvah upon him, me shelo yatsa hu dami. So it's as if Barry, if Mr. Cohn and Barry are together in the room now, and Mr. Cohn has a chiyuv, Barry doesn't. Yes, he does. As long as there's a Jew in front of you who has a chiyuv to do this, it's as if Barry has a chiyuv now. To the point that he's allowed to do what? Make a bracha. And that's what happens at Megillah reading, where the Megillah reading might read again and again and make a bracha. You might go to the hospital, read 3-4 times, making a bracha again and again. That's what? And the Menachem Mendel, the Chabadnik at the Kotel, again, laniach tefillah. So if the guy knows how to make a bracha, fine. But if he doesn't, and the Menachem Mendel, I'm just giving his nice Chabad name, and he makes the bracha for him again and again and again. How's he doing that? Because every Jew that passes by, holding Menachem Mendel shliach, every Jew that passes by with the chiyuv, a light goes off in Menachem Mendel, he has a chiyuv. He has a new chiyuv every moment. To do the tefillin, help him put the tefillin. He can't put it on for him. He has to have it on. But he has to help him put it on. And if a bracha is what's needed, he has a chiyuv bracha, an obligation for bracha, that he does for him. Amazing, no? The new concept of a ravus, how strong it is. Powerful. It's mamish powerful. And then, so that's a very high level. This year, we've seen, how close we are with each other in terms of the Jews helping each other out, and the grilling and the chesed and the tzitzis, and so much that went on, just unbelievable. And the Aravis we certainly saw on a very, very, very high level, and then taking it to the ultimate level of the Chayalim, on the fact that it's one thing that you walk 10 minutes to blow shofar for someone. It's one thing that on Purim night you go to the hospital and you go from machlaka from each area in the hospital and you read 3 times. It's amazing. It's amazing. But Sahal, that's just the icing on the cake. Different level. Just the fact that they're going, their connection to us is that they'll go to Gaza and live in Lebanon or wherever they are around the country, risking their lives that we could live in Ramat Beit Shemesh and come to harmony and learn together. That's a different level of Ravus. One thing where you walk a few minutes, one thing where you sleep over on Rosh Hashanah by the hospital. It's all amazing. It's incredible. And the grilling, it's all unbelievable. And all the meals, you have different people, you're sending out WhatsApp. So, okay, I'm cooking for 40 chaylim, and there's a spreadsheet there. It's incredible. But just the chaylim are a different level insofar as you are raved to me that you're willing to give your life up for me. And you read about these young chayalim, and that's where they're at. Something very, very impressive about the chinuch that's going on. So in the Dati Lomi world, in the Hesder world, there's something very profound that they're willing to go and give up years to be in the Hesder program, let's say. There's many beautiful projects, mentioning the Hesder one. We have the 5-year program, split up among Army. And in fact, they're willing to give up those 5 years. And then they're willing to go through the training. But now that it's real again, so they're willing to go and fight. be away from the family, college, business, whatever it is, for a year, and who knows how much longer. And that's our Ravis on a different level. And then when they're in combat units, it's our Ravis willing to give up their lives. If they know on certain missions, it's not just a far-fetched possibility, it's high up there. The guys that went in to take the hostages, I don't know what an expert would say chances, but it wasn't 1%, 2%, 3%, probably 50, 60, 70, I have no idea what percent. Bibi's brother Yoni going into Entebbe. You're talking about crazy, crazy ideas here. So it's our Ravis just magnified to a level that we have not seen in 2,000 years. We should just understand. Oh my gosh, 1980. Wow. Yeah, I think it was 6 planes. Yeah. Correct. Absolutely. Knowing. Unbelievable. Yes. And the last one was Ramon, I think. No, not Ramon. I think the one was the last one because he was single. And the further back you are, the more chance you're going to get clipped at the end. And so they just like worked at every detail. If anyone's going to go, let it be a single guy. It was just crazy. It's not normal. So that Aravus, when we think of Aravus, we think of all the technical details that I mentioned, but it's different with Sahel. It's different. They are a different league of Aravus that we have not seen for 2,000 since Bar Kokhba. Yes.
Also, Rabbi, our experience is my husband's involved in grilling.
He is the griller. The griller.
But their attitude, whatever military base you go to, they want to be there. It's just so amazing. Wherever you are, every single one of them want to be there to protect us.
It's unbelievable. And they're willing to pay the ultimate price. It is correct. And it's amazing. I'll finish off with this line. So he says, giving up your life. We discussed this before. You're at an ocean, there's a big storm there, you see someone going down, and you're not any better swimmer than he is. And if the storm's taking him down, you're not going to make it either. Maybe yes, maybe not, you don't know. So you don't have to risk your life to help another individual out. Then he says over here, he says, Achayecha kodben, your life takes priority. Eino chalba milchama. Kol anshe milchama ki ish echad. The anshe milchama is like one unit. Mechuyavim limsor kol echad vechad is nafsho. Be'es hatzalas chayav shom. Each one has to risk his life for the other. Well, you're one unit now, literally. And he said, wait, why am I going to that building to try to save my friend who's in there stuck? I might lose my life. Yeah, that's right. The rules change. It's a game changer halachically in the army. And that's a famous Tzitz Eliezer and Rav Kook who wrote that idea. So just to summarize, we have the unbelievable mitzvah of Aravus. In the Pasuk, Hanistaros means I see bad things going on. You have to take responsibility in any way that you're possible. What if I don't know? Okay, that's different. But you have to take responsibility. It's weeding out all the evil and helping out with the assays. This year, we've seen it on a different level, of course. Then you have the concept of Aravus from a technical halachic standpoint, where another Jew has a chiyuv, I have a chiyuv. I have a halachic chiyuv. And that allows me to make a bracha to that extent. And then that explains Menachem Mendel of the Kotel, explains the Baal Koros Megillah again making a bracha, the Baal Shov again. But then there's a limit. I don't have to risk my life to save someone else if it's going to be a real risk on my part. It's not a risk. Of course, I have to save someone else's life. Lifeguard, that's what I do. But let's say it's a storm and it's not simple at all that he's going to be any better, then until it comes to Tzahal, the army. So Rav Kook and the Tzitziel said, no, you're one bush, you're one body. And yes, you each do things to save each other, even with the risk of losing life. So the Aravus, when we think of tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Shabbos, we're reading the Parsha, the end of Shlishi, and we're reading Hanistaro. We think about obligations, our commitments to each other. We should reinforce it, invigorate ourselves as what we could do for Klal Yisrael. And then just next time we see another holy soul that just realized that he took this pasuk to the stratosphere. Hashem should bless all of them. Hashem to us. Okay, and good Shabbos, good Shabbos. Good Shabbos. Good Shabbos. So next week we're on Tuesday.